Arsenal 2, Tottenham 1, North London derby. North London is red. Welcome, Purely Arsenal Instant Reaction podcast. A little late here, about an hour or two late. Had a few things to do, but got to talk about that game. A brilliant win. Fantastic performance from everyone. Flattered Tottenham, that result. To be honest, it could have been 3-4-5, I think, if we'd really got our shots off and finished some of our big chances, which we'll get into. The lineup, well, I did have a feeling he was going to start Sterling at the right wing. He showed a little bit against Man U for a 20-30 minute spell where he broke structure, he went at players. Obviously, it didn't really come to anything against United, but he definitely showed something going forward. So he started on the wing, Trossard started as well, Martinelli sat on the bench, and then we went with Partey, Rice and Odegaard, which I think we all agree so far this season has been our best middle centre mid. And he kept Lewis Skelly at left back because Calafiori's still not fit, and everything else kind of picked itself. I thought we started really well, to be honest. I thought we played a really, really good game here. I think the XG, which I like to talk about a little bit, flat as Tottenham as well, really. I don't really know where their 0.6 to 0.9, wherever you look at it, comes from. I don't really recall clear-cut chances for them other than maybe Kulusevski's one in the first half that Raya parries and saves. Even their goal came from really a half chance, their first sort of even partial opening towards our goal. But we started really, really well, but unfortunately we didn't get a goal. And, I thought Kai Havertz, Odegaard, Trossard even throughout the game, Sterling early on when Lewis Skelly played him in beautifully, and Sterling just seemed to almost jump out for the tackle with Spurs' goalkeeper. And, you were worried we were gonna regret and rue those missed chances, really, because we had such domination early on without testing the goalkeeper too much again. But we really were opening them up time and time again and just sometimes not able to get our shots off. Trossard had one blocked before it hit to the keeper, and then they get their goal, and it's I think comes from a corner, maybe it goes back out and they whip it in. It's cleared pretty well from Gabriel, and then Son just hits it. It's not a great hit, it's kind of going straight into the goalkeeper, but it deflects, I think, off Saliba, goes through Partey's legs, I believe, and just goes into the bottom corner. And it's a goal that we're so used to seeing from with Arsenal, when we dominate the games for such large periods and then someone scores out of absolutely nothing. And it just happens time and time again. It's crazy how often it happens against us. Raya can do nothing. He can't do anything there, really. It's deflected. It's right in the corner. And Spurs are 1-0 up, and they absolutely don't deserve it. And but what I liked about that was I really worried at that point because we've struggled to score the last few games. We've all seen the data on the amount of chances we create against Newcastle or Man U without scoring. And obviously we did score once against Man U, but it was like 49 shots with one goal, and that was from our centre-back. But I thought we carried on in the same vein. I thought Odegaard was fantastic on the ball, despite his finishing being a bit wayward again. Should have scored one in the second half. But then we get our goal back, right? It's a corner that's possibly not a corner, depending on, what angle you're looking at. I think we're a little lucky to get that corner. I think it probably comes off Trossard last, but who cares? And it's a brilliant corner in from Declan Rice. It's a fantastic corner. And Gabriel just does so well to get something on it because he's being pulled and pushed, and he still gets his head on it. And I think it flicks in off Solanke. You need a striker that's deadly in the box, and Solanke showed that, didn't he? Really well done. And it was brilliant. It 1-1 there, and then lifted the crowd. I thought the crowd sounded excellent from my television set anyway. My brother was there today, but he was right in the back of the crowd, so he didn't create much of the atmosphere. He's got to get better tickets. So at 1-1, and then immediately afterwards, I think Partey does really well, a few minutes later, to win the ball. And sometimes it looked like Partey was struggling going backwards. His physicality and his legs look like they're going a little bit, sometimes going backwards. But he's really good at winning the ball. And if he wins it high up, we can really break quickly there. And what I loved about Odegaard, and what we've not been doing often enough, is he just got it straight up his feet and just gave it to Trossard and said, run onto that, mate. And Trossard, I've been moaning about Trossard shooting for the last 4, 5, 6 weeks. I'm like, just stop shooting from everywhere. It never goes in. But he took this one on and he shot, and it was a good shot. It wasn't a great shot, but it was a good shot, and it bobbled up and it bobbled over, I think his name's Kingski's goalkeeper's hand, should save it. But he takes the shot early, and that's something we just don't do often enough. And it shows that anything can happen when you do that. It can get deflection, it can bobble up, there's a lot you can do. It's a good shot. He should have taken the shot on. There was no one really there to pass to at that point. and we're 2-1 up before half time when you were 1-0 down 5 minutes earlier. And then what I liked about us in the second half is that I thought we were going to tire. I thought our intensity was so high that we were going to tire, but we didn't. We didn't really. I mean, we did have a little spell. They definitely came back into it a little bit. But it was hard to be as dominant as we were in the first half, in the second half. And we had to time Martinelli sub right, which I think we did, in terms of bringing Sterling off, who looked really, really tired. And we continued to create chances. I felt Kai Havertz was wasteful at times in the box. He couldn't get the ball out of his feet to even get shots off at times. Odegaard had a great chance that went just wide, but he should score it, really. There was points where you were watching that second half and you couldn't work out how we couldn't get the ball into the next. It was quite scrappy in the box, but it was some really good football leading up to the moves, and we just couldn't get our shots off, clean shots away. Everyone was... You could tell how much we wanted it, but we looked like we were tired in the final third, which was understandable, really. I mean, we'd had 120 minutes 3 days earlier, so overall, fantastic win, 2-1 win. We managed to get Lewis Skelly off. I thought the ref was trying to be involved a little bit more than he should have been. I was so stunned. I mean, we were getting yellow cards for silly things, Havertz stepping on someone's foot and things like that. Lewis Skelly for not going off the pitch where the ref wanted him to, from the looks of things, from a corner. But there was so many. Richarlison knocking the ball out of Raya's hand, Jed Spence kicking the holding onto the ball, making a foul, I think he did, and then Ange, their manager, basically telling the referees blind and screaming at him. Everyone saw it within the same sort of moment that was with Jed Spence and Ange, and no booking, just no telling off, no booking. Imagine if that was Arteta. I tell you, managers that have if their first language is English, I tell you, they get all the warnings in the world, but nothing actually happens. But if that was Mikel Arteta, you're looking at 3-game ban, I tell you. But brilliant win. Got to win the North London derby. That's double done over Tottenham once again this season. And they're mid-table and nowhere within the league. And it's a great win for us. But again, we've got a quick turnaround here to Saturday, and there's no real fresh legs coming into the group. So let's see what we do, and how we move on to Villa. Fingers crossed. Up the Arsenal.